Welcome back to this YouTube channel on learning how to play Connect 4. My name is Hans, and today I'm going to cover on how you're going to play the game well by avoiding certain threats. But before I go about doing so, let's just recap from my previous video on how to play the game in just the simple rules and how to win the game. So just to give you a simple illustration, you win the game by successfully connecting your colored disc vertically, or you successfully do that by horizontally, or you successfully do that by connecting your colored disc diagonally. Okay, so typically in a Connect 4 game, it is actually a turn-based game and it's a two-player game. So one of your opponent may be a red player and you being the yellow player or vice versa, and you'll take turns to put in the colored disc itself. Okay, so I just give you a random example on a middle game on how the game looks like typically. And with this game, I'm going to introduce you how to look out for threats in a game so that you're not surprised by your opponents when they suddenly give you a successful connect four in a row disc diagonally, vertically, or horizontally. Because part of your role as a player is to prevent your opponent from connecting the 4Ds faster than you. So you want to be playing an offensive game where you are able to connect 4 fast. You are also preventing your opponent from connecting their own colored disc in 4 rows fast as well. 4 rows or diagonally, vertically, or horizontally itself. So just to introduce a few terms, one is on minor threats, major threats, and checks. Now, what do I mean by this? So observe this game. If you have 2, you have a minor threat. If you have 3 in a row, you have a major threat. Okay? Now, why am I saying this? Let's figure out how do we understand this. If you have 3 in a row, if you observe 3 in a row, chances of you gaining a 4 in a row is very high, isn't it? So that also means that this circle over here, particularly this circle, is a major threat. Okay? Now, what is a minor threat? Minor threats means threats that will allow you or your opponent a chance to create a major threat, which then in return gets a win itself. So one of the example of a minor threat is over here and over here. Why? Because if you successfully put if you are the yellow player, you successfully put your yellow disc over here, then you are able to create a major threat over here. You see? Yeah. And the other example of a minor threat is this over here. See? 1, 2, here, minor threats. And the other one, if you're a red player, 1, 2, another one, minor threats. And 1, 2, another one, minor threat. Because if you are the red player, you're able to put it over here, and the red player wins. This circle becomes a major threat, and if the red player puts it over there, it becomes a win itself. Okay, so what is a check? A check means after I put over here, and you see, this square becomes a major threat, and if I put over here, check, I'm done. this is a check and a winning check itself actually. Yeah. So part of your role as a player is that you want to win the 4 in a row as quickly as possible, while at the same time preventing your opponent from creating a winning check, which is here, and preventing them from making more major threats, because major threats have the potential of creating a winning check itself. So may you play this game well in a way where you can create a winning check as fast as possible, creating major threats so that your opponent has no choice but to put a piece, let's say over here, and let's say your opponent has no choice but to put a piece here, so that you as a yellow player wins as a result. Okay, I'll explain further in other videos as well, but I just want to let you know, one, it is this Connect 4 game is a turn-based game. Two, to look out for a series of threats itself. One, major threats where you connect 3 diagonally, vertically, or horizontally. The other one is on looking out for minor threats that can potentially give you major threats itself. Okay, minor threats would be 2 connecting in a row like this one. Just to recap for you. 2, and this one becomes a minor threats. Okay, I see you in the next video where I will explain further on how to leverage the minor threats, the major threats, and to help you create a winning check while preventing your opponent from doing so. I see you in the next video if you are still interested in improving your game.